Welcome to video number 22 for our February series of videos demonstrating quick strike. Today we are finally going to cover the contract summary page that we've been talking about these last few weeks. We did a release this last weekend that has the latest version, which will likely change, upgrade, get modified slightly, but for most of it, it's in the place where it's going to be for the time being. So let's get started as we usually do. Let's just remind ourselves where we are in case this is the first video that you're watching. When you log into QuickStrike for the first time, you're going to land on the Market Dashboard Product Overview page. This is a favorite that's been set up over here in the My Account section where you can pick your favorite product group and your favorite product. So we can move on from there like we always do. So let's jump right over to our contract summary. So click on that, and here we are. So in this case, just as a reminder, right now it looks like we're on the April contract, that's J. So that's going to be the first contract in the first group over here. In order to change contracts, I can simply, select from any of these different drop downs. So we have, 2016, 2017, the weekly contracts for corn, and then the short dated corn options for 2016 and 2017 as well. So let's just stick with April for now, since that's where we landed. And let's take a look at what we have here on the contract summary. So I'm going to scroll up a little bit so we can see a little bit easier. So what we do have is we're going to give you a summary about the at the money as it currently stands right now. So you get to call in the put values for the at the money strike, as well as the straddle value where it's settled and the change from there, and the volatility information as well as the Greeks associated with that straddle. We're going to show you the futures contract, a little bit of summary for the future associated with the April option contract, and then an overview of the open interest for this contract as well. So you see the calls, detail, and the puts, and then the combined totals for all the open interest and change, and then also sort of what I think is a pretty important number, the put-call ratio. So just sort of giving you an idea of where the balance of power is, so to speak, within the option itself. So it looks like it's pretty flat, but there is a bias, a small bias to the downside in terms of put owners. The second section here is the intraday vol change. Now what you're going to see here is all the updates from 6:45 in the morning until present. If there are more than fits in this window, you'll see a little scroll bar down here. And as you've seen this before in some other pages, you're going to see a little chart of the volatility, and you can hover that and see how the volatility has changed. You'll see the change in the at the money straddle price as well as the change in the strikes and the futures. So a nice little overview of where things are in the day from an intraday movement standpoint in terms of vol. Next, you're going to see what the vol chart looks like. And again, the settlement is the yellow and the blue is the current. So we have a little bit of increase in volatility today. This is the at the money line that you're seeing, and then the red is going to show you your current underlying price. You've seen these charts before in the other vol skew demonstrations that we've done. And then finally, what we have is a little bit of history here. So in this case, we're seeing the at the money implied volatility history since December, because this January, this line is a January marker. So everything here is January, everything here is February. And then here's, we're going back to December. And if we hover, we got December 28th. Okay. So we're going back about, a couple months there. So you have the at the money volatility history for the April contract. And then here's the historical 20 trading days, which was like 30 days in calendar, from a calendar standpoint. So you can see if implieds are in line with what the underlying is doing in terms of its movement. And then we have a ratio chart here, which again, we've talked about. So this is the historical volatility over the implied volatility. So to give you an idea of you'll see here, there was a little peak over the one line. So that means historical was a little higher than the implied, but it gives you a nice, easy way to look to see whether things are progressing in the underlying as they are in the option, right? So if there's a lot of activity in the underlying and the volatility is high, we see if the option is following it. And as you see here, the option implied volatility has been higher than the future volatility for most of this chart. And then finally below, we give you a chart of the futures contract so you can follow along there as well. So you can look to see how vol has moved and how the ratio has changed as the volatility or as the future has moved up and down. So Again, each time I select a contract, it's going to show the information for that. So here again, we have the May contract, and we also see that this still is associated with the May underlying. So if we jump out here to the June contract, we're going to see that the June option contract associated with the July underlying. So all this information up top is going to be associated with the option itself. Okay, so let's go back to April and take a look. Um, so the rest of the tabs in the overview you've seen before, but what we've done here in the contract summary is give you a quick little look at everything that's going on that's of general importance for that option contract. Okay, so if we go to the open interest tab, we're going to see our open interest chart here. So this is our calls and puts for 15 up and 15 down. Again, there are more comprehensive versions of this chart over here in the open interest profile, but we're giving you just as it's a summary meant to give you a little bit of information quickly so you can kind of disseminate everything that you need without having to jump around to the different comprehensive tools within QuickStrike. Next, you're going to see the most actives. This again is an open interest page as well. So we're showing you the top 15 and then the summary for the calls and the puts. Again, like we've mentioned, you can see that same information over here in the open interest profile, but in greater detail and with more flexibility. We give you a quick look at the settlements here as well. Again, this is another page from a more advanced tool, but it's here. So it's quick and easy to get a look at things. Then we also give you a nice look at the pricing sheet. Again, these pricing sheets, this standard pricing sheet exists over here. So there's no controls to manipulate this or anything, but it's giving you a nice quick look at where pricing is in terms of the where it is currently and where the vol is currently and the Greeks associated with that, straddle price, straddle settle, how, and you can see if things are up or down from here as well. Then we also have a version of the OTC sheet or the actual full OTC sheet here, where these are delta-based strikes, and again, you're seeing our interpolated, where these interpolations are taking place between what strikes, that type of stuff. So, a quick way to get some pricing information right from the contract summary without having to dive too deeply into the pricing sheets. A general overview of the market conditions associated with that expiration is in the overview section. And then finally in the charts, what you're going to see are larger versions of the charts that we saw over here on the summary. And this vol chart is available here in the vol skew, but we're giving you the, again, so you can quickly see it in case you want to print it out just by itself. You can go up here and create the PDF if you don't want to use the whole report. And then the same goes for the at the money vol history as well. So here is just a larger version of that chart, and this historical information, as you know, is available over here in the quick volatility section. So that is the contract summary for today. The one other quick thing that I will show you here. So we were in the ag. So if I go over to the rates, what you're going to see is what I want to point out is if I go over to the treasuries, another sheet that's going to be available over here in the sheet summary, which will be a useful sheet for you if you do trade rates, and this is giving you the yield equivalent for each of the strikes. So this is a nice quick way to get over to that information if you are trading the treasuries. So just one other addition over here in the treasury version of the contract summary. So that's it for today. That's almost rounding out our whole set of functionality here. The next thing we're going to try to cover this week, or we'll cover some other stuff probably, but the option matrix is the one place we haven't taken a look at yet. So we'll be getting there soon enough. But we've generally filled out most of the menu items here, and we're almost to the end. So thanks again for taking the time to watch these videos, and we hope you enjoyed them. If you have any questions, please reach out. Otherwise, we'll talk to you soon. Take care.